Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all good now. It has been maybe 2 days since I have done a live stream, and honestly I have missed it. So big up to you guys that did support me in my pre-recorded videos that I did about Gyokeres. As we know, there has been some breaking news about that, and I'm happy to speak a bit about that as well later on in the video. But right now I'm going to speak about Arsenal's pre-season game today, which kicked off at 12:30 today. I do apologise, I've not had a chance to jump on here up until now. It has been a very hectic day, but you know what? I can spare a bit of time right now and chat about Arsenal's win against AC Milan, which we did beat them 1-0, and they went to penalties. We didn't have the best penalties, but obviously, I'm going to discuss more things about that today. So, obviously, I appreciate you guys that will be joining me today to obviously have a chat with me. So, big up to you guys that will be here. And obviously, if you're new here, please do subscribe to my channel. Please don't forget to smash them likes before we get started. And of course, like I always say, if you've got any questions you want to send in, then you're more than welcome to do that. Big up Ashik who says, "Hi Soph, hi, hope you're good. Good to see you in here." Big up to you guys that are watching this. As I said, I'm going to be speaking about the game today, which obviously kicked off earlier on today, and I did manage to watch most of the game, which is very good. So, yeah, honestly, I think I value pre-season as just a time to maybe see some of these young players that we don't see, and to obviously give these new signings a chance to see what they're like. And obviously, we did see quite a few changes. From the second half, and I think you have to give these players a chance, really. So, obviously, I'm going to go into that. Big up to United underscore fan who says, "Hi, safe. Hi, I hope you're good. Good to see you here too." Um, yeah, obviously, there's a few things I'll speak about first. Obviously, um, I'm really excited about Arsenal going to next season. I think we do have some great players at Arsenal. I think we've got some very exciting, talented players, and I feel like, yeah, I just think it was a really interesting game. And obviously, I watched the first half before. Not gonna lie, I wasn't, the most exciting. I think, to be honest with you, I was really impressed with Wanyeri. Um, Honestly, yeah, I just think it was a very, very exciting performance from him. We all know he signed a new deal, and I think that's obviously very, very exciting. And I think he's so talented, and we all forget how young he is. I think you know, he's got so much potential as well. So Neri was very impressive. I know he didn't play a full game, but it was really good to see him there. I was really happy to see him get obviously some minutes as well. So yeah, really enjoyed seeing him out there on the pitch, and I really hope next season Neri is going to get more regular football because we know as fans when we watch him week in week out, we know what a great player he is. So I'm really hoping we are going to see a lot more of Neri next season. So I think his dribbling, everything about his playing is amazing, and like I said, you forget how young he is because he's so good. Max Downham as well, another one that I've spoken about, when you guys have asked me about him, I've spoken about him, and it is crazy to think how young he is because he's like 15, which feels like too young, but it is kind of crazy because he's so good, isn't he? At what he does. So I really hope as well for him, we're going to see more of him. I know he's so young, but I think he really looks so comfortable. He looks so experienced when you're watching him. So I do feel very, very excited when you're watching him, and it's crazy how young he is though. But I think if you're old enough, if you're good enough, you're old enough. So I think for that it was great to see him get some minutes as well. I think he's a very, very exciting young player to watch, and I hope that he can continue doing what he does. Hopefully, we're going to see more of him on this preseason tour as well. So, for me, I'm personally very, very excited to see more of him. Um, Big up you guys for in the chat, I appreciate it. I'm just going to go through your questions now. Um, do you think if Gyokeres was playing in that game, you would have won? I think when we, obviously it's early days and pre-season, I can't say too much because we just have to see how things go. But I think what he did. So I think we could really do with sort of him in our team right now. I think we would be scoring a lot more goals with him there. I know it's pre-season, so it's sort of like it's not too intense right now, and it doesn't mean too much really. But I think he definitely would make a difference. And I think we would have won by a few more goals. I mean, we did obviously win 1-0, and then we did the penalties and we lost on the penalties, I think. So I think it wasn't our most sort of exciting performance, but it was a very dominated performance, and I think we could really do with like a Gyokeres in this team, and I hope we are going to see Gyokeres soon. I know the news about Gyokeres broke, which is obviously really exciting, and I'm so excited to see um to see that happen. And then we're gonna have to wait and see what will happen, like when it'll be announced, etc. But obviously, it is very exciting for Arsenal getting this Gyokeres news because I mean, we had these so many conversations about him. We've had so much to talk about Gyokeres, and I think now we're going to finally hear some really good news about him. So I'm personally, really excited about that. But I think he would make a completely difference in this team. I know you have to have that creativity in the midfield too to help, but I think this team is very strong and is only going to go from strength to strength. So yeah, I just think we need to make sure we are going to bring in other players as well. I know with Eze, he's one that I want us to go for, and I have said that for a while. So obviously, I do hope it can happen. I really hope so. So yeah, like I said, today I think it's all about getting those minutes in pre-season. It's all about testing new things, trying new things. I will be honest, like I was sort of surprised we did see Zinchenko start in the game. I mean, I think there's certain players that we sort of know we should move on by now. Um, Big up to Kivior though because he got an incredible assist for that Saka goal. Obviously, really happy. Saka got on that score sheet. I think Saka did really well today. I think Saka's was really working hard and trying to make things happen as he has done for Arsenal in the season. So I think Saka did really well today. I think the goal, it's a good goal, and it got us. That 1-0 win at the end of the day. So, yeah, I'm really happy for Saka. And I think Saka really needs these strikers to come in because we know Saka has been working his socks off like over these past few seasons. So, I think it is going to be so important to finally get him someone in that is going to help him with those goals as well, because we have had to rely on him an awful lot, haven't we, for those goals? I know we've relied on other players too, but it'd be about time that he'll get a rest and other players can step up in that role. So I'm really hoping that Gyokeres will be announced soon. I really am. Big up Ron. Hope you're good. Um, big up yourself. Big up Cooper. Big up Soph. Hope you're good too. Good to see you here. Big up Yared. He says you are the goat. That's very kind of you. Thank you, Yared, for popping in and saying hi. Um, with all those balls Saka was putting into the box, a proper striker would have put them away. Yeah, that's the thing, because this is the problem we've always had these last few seasons, is that we have, we have great wingers, we really do, but there's no one in the box all the time to finish their chances. So I think Saka is really good at, whipping crosses in the box, and when we're in the box, that's our problem. It's what we're going to do when the ball's there. We need to finish our chances a lot more. And I think we all know that the players that we have right now, whether that's Havertz, whether that's Martinelli, Saka himself, that hasn't ever been enough for us to win a league. So we need that striker that is going to help Arsenal. That's really going to take us on to that level. And like today, it was a very dominating performance, and you do need those sort of strikers that will win you this game quite comfortably, like a 3-0 or 4-0. But obviously, it's our first game in pre-season. I'm happy with what I've seen. I think it was great. I found the penalties quite interesting because the young players were so good at them, and then you sort of see our experienced players like Kivior and obviously Odegaard who missed them penalties. I do think it's quite good to obviously take these penalties, because I think next season, like, are we going to see Gyokeres hit penalties? Is it going to be Odegaard, Saka? I can't actually remember who our proper sort of penalty taker was. I can't remember if it was Saka or Odegaard, but I do think it's going to be important to have someone else to come in and step in. We've needed a striker for the longest time, so I'm really delighted that this is actually getting done, because we've had so many conversations. I've done so many videos about Gyokeres, and I'll be honest with you, I've got to the point where I'm quite excited about talking about him. So it's a relief knowing that stuff is going to get done behind the scenes, that things are moving in the right direction. So yeah, I'm really happy. I think we can all speak about individual performances today that done really well, of players that have impressed us. I think it's great to see some of these young players get these opportunities, because obviously when the season starts, it's going to be completely different. I think it's going to be hard for these younger players to get those regular minutes. So for me, it's just nice to see these young players get a shot. Obviously, Max Down, and I've said, is a great player. He's got so much, talent at such a young age. Like it does feel crazy how young he is, but I feel like because he's really shown on the stage what you can do, especially his penalty was great. He was just so confident, and I think that's a great quality to have because I mean at 15, like that, I think 15 is so young now. Um, but I think it's really great that Arteta has given him these chances, and I hope we are going to see him a bit more next season. Whether that's in the cup games, whether that's in these other moments. Obviously, we know we won't be starting in the Premier League. We have our experienced players that will do the job, but I think it would be good to see some other players, step in. But obviously Ranieri as well really impressed me. And yeah, I just think the individuals were really good today. Obviously, let me know who impressed you today from the game. And there's quite a lot of individual players that we can all speak about because I think there were some really good performances in there today. Like I said, it's only pre-season. We're not gonna, nothing's gonna be perfect. There's gonna be mistakes in there. Obviously, our next game is against Newcastle, which I'm looking forward to. I will actually do a watch along for this game just on Sunday at 12:30. So I will do a video for that as well, which is exciting. So yeah, I definitely think it's great to experiment, to try new things, and obviously we saw Kepa as well. I think Kepa is someone that I think with Kepa it's a quite a weird one because as fans, some fans like him, some fans think he's a Chelsea player. I don't want him here, but I think he's for 5 million. I think he did really good. I think he was quite good with penalties. He saved quite a few, and I think obviously when you're going to see us with these penalties, and I think it's great to try these things. To be honest with you, but I was really impressed with Kepa. I think he did really well today, and I'm happy that he got a good chunk of time today. I think he got about 45 minutes and penalties. So I think we're going to see more of these players on new signings, what they're about, what they're like, because I think at this moment, they are new to Arsenal. They've been great for other teams, but when you come to Arsenal, it is a little bit different. But I have I'm fully confident that all these signings will be really important for us. I would love to see Madueke when he will come to Arsenal. I know obviously at the moment he didn't fly to Singapore, but I'm excited to see him, even though that, as I said, he hasn't been someone that I'd pick, but I'm excited to see what he can obviously do, bring to the team as well. So, obviously, we've got Gyokeres, we're going to have to wait and see what happens regarding that, but I think it is a very, very exciting time as well for these new signings, and obviously I do think it's important that we do fully, 100% get behind them as well. Big up Arsenal women fan who says Saka was great today. Yeah, it was great to see Saka back in action, obviously. I think with Saka, we all know, as Ron said as well, what he can do on the wing. He's very creative, and obviously when he's able to get in the box, we just need someone that can get in the box and be quite ruthless. And I think we lack that a little bit. I think we need someone that's, like we said, we need a Gyokeres, we need a striker that's going to come in and be ruthless because we could have easily won this game quite comfortably, like a 3 or 4 nil. And we've had a few chances in the game as well. But it's like when we get in the box, we need to be more clinical. And yeah, I just think pre-season is always a chance to get used to playing with each other again. It's about your fitness levels because obviously, I mean, I don't know for every single player, but some players must have been on holiday, some players have had a rest. So I think it's so important to see these players get back to playing football again, get used to that again. So yeah, I think it's going to be really exciting to see our new signings. But yeah, Gyokeres is the one that I think we all want to see really at the moment. Big up Ron, he says, what about Kepa in the shootout? Yeah, like I said, I think Kepa. Um, I think he's pretty good today, especially those saves in the penalty shootout. I think I just want to see more of him. I feel very excited about Kepa. I know he's going to be a second choice, so we're not going to be a first choice because Raya's so good, but I think he's definitely going to be a great player and great backup if anything ever happens to Raya. So, yeah, I think for the price as well, I think you can't really argue with that. I think that's a pretty decent price, really. And it's a great value because I think he's quite good. Why didn't Nani make it out of Singapore? I'm not 100% sure, but I thought it was because he's obviously played a lot of football for Chelsea in the Club World Cup and he's having a bit of a rest because I know a lot of these players have had a rest before Singapore and I know with the Club World Cup that's sort of taken a lot of time. So I'm under the impression he's having a little rest until um or a holiday until we come back. So that's pretty much what I think. And I think if that's the case, then fair enough, because I think when it was that time, a lot of these players were going on holiday, like Trossard or Saka, were having a bit of a break, which obviously they deserve. So I think he deserves a break too. I think footballers do deserve that time to switch off, maybe go on holiday or spend time with their families, because I do think that the schedule is quite packed for footballers, both men and women's. I think it's quite tough. So I think he's just having a break because he's been obviously for Chelsea in the Club World Cup, and but I'm excited to see what he can bring to the team, especially in pre-season. I think with pre-season, it's really weird because if we lose, it doesn't matter too much for me because obviously it's not a real game. But obviously, when you're playing teams like Newcastle and Spurs, you do want to thrash them, you do want to beat them quite heavily. So I think with the Premier League teams you play against in pre-season, you do want it to be quite a convincing score. I think with pre-season, like I say, I think it's all about getting those minutes. It's all about try new things, giving these young players an opportunity to really shine and get these opportunities and chances. So for that, I think I hope we are going to see a bit more of that as well, because I do really think we've got some great young players, great young talent, and I hope Arteta will give them players an opportunity next season as well, because I think we've got a great squad going forward. But with Madueke, obviously, with him, we need to just hopefully see him after the tour. Obviously, our next game will be Newcastle at the weekend, which very, very excited for. Like I said, I will do a watch along for that one as well. I think it will be quite exciting. But yeah, we're gonna have to see obviously how it goes with the next game. But I think for today, I think we've learned stuff we definitely have. There's things that we're happy with. There's things that we might look back and think we could have tried this, we could have done that. But I'm happy. I think I tested good today with new things. We're trying new things, and we know we've got a very great academy. We've got great young players who have really given the role. I love watching them penalties and the young players. They did so good today. So yeah, I do think it's very, very exciting time, especially for Arsenal, watching these young players really come through and do so well with their opportunities. Um we have Ron who's got a question. What do you think about all of the other top sides and the moves in the market? Scary. Yeah, it's so tough, isn't it? Because obviously it seems now you're going to get Gyokeres, which obviously is great for Arsenal. But I think in if you look at the other side of it, you have seen a lot of other teams that are doing really good. I think Liverpool's the one that I am looking at and thinking they're just really doing so well at the moment. And I think, to be honest with you, I think maybe they're probably favourites going into the season because of who they're getting the strengthening very well, and they're actually getting rid of some of their top players. I mean, Diaz is still a great player, but they're going to try and get money for him. Obviously, other players like Nunes, I expect Nunes to move on. So I think Liverpool have done very good. Obviously, Etike is now going to be a Liverpool player. So I think that we have to just make sure we're doing the best we could possibly do. Because when you look at other teams and they're strengthening, I mean, I think our first game against United isn't going to be easy. I think it will be full of tests. I think every game is always a test. Every game is so different. You can never write off anything in football. So I do sort of have my questions about some of these games next season, because you can never write any team off. Every team is going to strengthen going into next season. So I'm obviously nervous about what we're going to do at the end of the window. Obviously, I don't want to judge anything right now because the window isn't finished, and I want to actually see what we're going to do, what plans we have, until the window's shut. But I think we know we're going to get Gyokeres, which is obviously a really good signing, and I'm really excited to see him at Arsenal. And like we've wanted him for a very long time. I think he is definitely going to be a really good signing for Arsenal. So for me, I'm really buzzing with that signing as well. So when that gets announced, I will be very, very happy. I probably think it will be announced. Do you think we'll hear that announcement this week? I really hope we can hear this announcement, because I think as fans we need something to feel excited about. I think it has been a I think it has been quite a big wait for him. So I hope he's going to Singapore. I'm not sure if he will. I think it might be a bit late for him, but we're going to have to see if he is going to come to Singapore. I really hope he can be a part of this tour because, as I said, I really value him. I think he's a great player, and he's someone that I've wanted for a very long time. And Arsenal have finally got it done. So, yeah, I'm made up with this. Because it did. I actually thought at one point, is he going to United? Like, I know United have been interested in him, so I really hope it will happen. So yeah, I'm really excited. We'll get to see him for sure. Obviously Eze, I would like to see Eze. I want us to get that deal done. I don't know when we actually will get that done though, because I think Gyokeres has been a big priority, which I completely get because he's a big player. He's going to improve Arsenal massively, but we need to focus on Eze as well. We need to, um, obviously, sign other players because Arteta said we are short on bodies, we are short. So he needs to. He does definitely need to back up what he's saying and bring in some of these players. I know it's going to take time. It's not going to happen overnight. It's going to be a process. It really will be, and I appreciate that. But we just need to make sure that we do the right things going into the season. As you know, as Ron's saying as well, that other teams are getting better, and we've got to make sure that we're matching up to that and we're improving and getting better too. So I really, really hope we're going to see that happen. Looking at Arsenal's first 6 games, how I think they'll do. Let me just check as well who we have. I know roughly who we have, but I just want to check in order. I think with United, I'm confident we'll beat them. I mean, I would be so sad if we didn't. I think I'd be a bit embarrassed, but um, so United away, I think that should be 3 points. I don't think that'll be easy, but I think we'll get that done. The Leeds is a tough one. I feel like a draw could happen with that, but three. I think we could beat United and Leeds, but then I think we would draw at Liverpool at the best. And then obviously we have Nottingham Forest, Man City, and then we got Newcastle. So I think we get 3 points against United, 3 points against Leeds, a draw possibly against Liverpool. I think we could win it. We play Nottingham Forest, but we're at home. Man City is going to be tough. I think the only game that I think Liverpool would be a lot harder to beat than Man City. So I think we could do pretty well in these games. I think we do obviously have quite a lot of tough fixtures at the start, but I don't think that should be a problem if we have all the right players. Because if you've got your right squad, if you've got the right players, then you're going to do good, and we should do okay with all these players that hopefully we'll have. Um, so yeah, I think Anfield's going to be tough. Newcastle away is tough. Yeah, I am happy we're getting these games out of the way because I'd rather them get done and dusted so we don't have to worry. But I do think it is tough. I think it's just our luck really. But I think if it when you get the tough games out of the way, they're done now, and you don't have to sort of worry about them. Like we don't have to go to Anfield at any point in the season. So yeah, I think you know what I think it's what it is with those games. I think I'd be glad when some of them are over. But I'm excited to play Leeds. I'm excited to see them come back up as well. So I do definitely think it'll be exciting. For sure. I think we'll probably. I hope we don't get a loss in them 6 games, but I think with Liverpool, I think that'll be a draw or a loss. I think that one's going to be really tough. Um, when do you think we'll see Gyokeres play? I honestly don't know, because I think he's definitely going to sign soon because he's pretty much an Arsenal player. We thankfully heard the here we go. But yeah, I just think that um, it's so tough. It really is. But I would love to see him play sort of after Singapore. I don't think he is going to be here for Newcastle. I think maybe that's a bit optimistic. Um, but yeah, I think it's going to be interesting when he plays. I think when he gets announced, I think that'll feel amazing because we've not had a signing like a striker for a long time. We didn't replace Aubameyang, and ultimately that was our problem. I know we've had other players like Nketiah. I know Havertz has played and Marino has played, but they're not going to ever get you the goals Gyokeres is going to get us. Gyokeres is going to easily get us. Um, 20, 30 goals a season. I mean, the season when Gokras comes in, I will be honest, I think if he gets 15 to 20, I'll be happy with that because I think when you come to a different league, you're gonna have to adapt to new players, new managers, style of play, new country, whatever. So I think we have to, kind of understand that and appreciate that it's not gonna go great might struggle with certain things. So I think when Gyokeres comes, he's definitely going to improve what we have right now, and I just feel very excited because when you look at players like Saka and players that are really trying the hardest and whipping crosses in the box, we need someone in there that's actually going to take them chances. And I really feel as though we have that in Saka, and we have have someone that's really creative, and we just need some help, in that striker position. So I'm really optimistic about, Gyokeres coming to Arsenal. It would be nice to see him in pre-season. Save Madueke. I want to see Madueke play pretty soon because I think he's going to be so important for us. But yeah, we're going to have to see. When new signings will come. But I think we've mostly got most of our players. I think we're probably going to add a few more additions. I would hope we bring in Eze. I mean, I don't know what we're going to do. I just don't know what Arsenal have up their sleeve at the moment. So we're going to have to see what will go on from here. But I'm really hoping that we're going to bring in Eze or someone else, just someone that's going to get us over the line. I mean, I know with Gokras he's going to help us and he'll be really great, but we do need someone else to really help us as well. Um, so yeah, obviously I'm happy with the window so far. If we get Gokras, I think that definitely gives it a lot higher rating because I know before Gokras people might have rated the window like a 3 or a 4, but I think with Gokras it definitely adds more to it. So yeah, I'm really excited. I think it would be nice to see a few more outgoings. Like I don't know if we're going to get rid of any more players. I think with Kivior as well, because like from the game today, I still think it would be a shame to see him go, but I also understand that we need some money because we obviously need to bring in players. If we want Eze, if we want to bring in um more players, we might have to sell some money. And I think you look at who you're going to get the most money for. It will be Kivior. It will be some of these type of players. Matt Martinelli possibly. So I think we do have to perhaps sell some of our best players. Arteta seems to want to keep him from what I've read, so I do not know what is going on next with Arsenal. But we are going to have to see what will happen. In this window, there's still plenty of time left. It's still open for a lot longer now, so we do obviously have quite a while left in this window. So, um, it's definitely going to be interesting to see what will happen, what's going to develop as well in these upcoming weeks. I'm excited to see what happened. I would love a surprise. I would love to be surprised by a player that we've not actually spoken about yet. But I think with Arsenal, I think if we get Eze, I'd be very happy. If we don't get Eze, I do want us to bring in someone that is gonna do a really good job. So I don't know who we have in mind. I know Sherry Simmons was one, but I just don't know what Arsenal are going to do if we don't get Eze. I think we have to get Eze because I think we all know that he's been in the Premier League for a while. He knows exactly how it works. He's consistent. He scores a lot of goals, and I think we just need someone like that in our team. So I really hope it can happen. I do worry that if we do bring him in about his sort of game time, would he get a lot of game time? I know he sort of plays in that attacking midfield position. I know he might play on the left, but I think because Madueke is a starter as well, it might be a bit hard for him to get regular game time. But I do think we need to strengthen next season, and I hope this can be maybe our last player, last signing after Gyokeres. Big up Ron, thank you so much. I just want to answer this. Arsenal should pull a Chelsea ship the hand me down to Spurs. And ship, yeah, I get what you mean. Big up to you guys as well that's watching this. I appreciate it. If any of you guys have any questions that are watching, feel free to obviously send them through. And please obviously make sure you are liking and subscribing. I'll probably be on here for 15 more minutes. I know this one is a little bit of a shorter one, but I did want to come in here give you my thoughts, obviously, about the game today. And like I said, I'll be back on Sunday as well. Um, to do like a video about the game coming up against Arsenal Newcastle. I will do a watch song for that as well. So, I think it's great to watch songs as well. I want to do more of them, so I will be doing that as well. Um so feel free to obviously, stay tuned for that when that'll happen. I did actually hear with Eze, I have to inform you, I'm sure you guys know this, but I think because other clubs have been interested in Eze, I did hear that Eze said he wants to come to Arsenal. And I think if that's the case, like the Gyokeres one, you just have to get it done. I think it's so tough because I don't know how much money we have. I don't know if we can afford it. And as I said, if we can't afford it, then you just have to, for me, I think we just have to get rid of some of our best players, which is the situation we're in now. So I think we've just got to get that done if that is the case. Because as I said, he would be an incredible player for Arsenal. Apparently, if Eze wants big money and Palace want that transfer fee up front, yeah, I have heard that. I think they want the money up front, not in installments, and Arsenal have been doing things in installments. And that's why I think we might have to sell some players because I don't know if we would do up front. I'm not sure we would, want to do that. So, yeah, I think we're going to have to just hope will do up front, hope we'll just get it done. I think, especially if he wants to come to Arsenal, I think that's even more reason why we should get him. So, I am really hoping that we will get this done. Big up United underscore fan. What do you think of Ollie Watkins possibly coming to United? Sure, that'll be an interesting one. I like Watkins. I don't think Arsenal he would be the guy for us because I think where United are, I think are a different place to Arsenal. We're trying to win the league. I suppose you guys are just trying to get back to top four and get back to Champions League football and competing in there again. I think one day United will get back to obviously where they should be as a club, winning titles, etc. But I think for him, I think it would be a good move for him. I think he is someone that does deserve to play at a club that's maybe in the Champions League or maybe winning more trophies. I think Villa have come a very long way these last few years. I think remember when they got promoted back up, and they've just been a team that have really improved. Emery's a great coach of Villa, so yeah, I think Aston Villa will want to make a lot of money for him though. So I do wonder how much he would be worth. Um, I know Arsenal were looking at him in January, but I think he would be a great signing. I really do. I think United have definitely got to improve in the attack. I think that's going to be their sort of main target. I mean, defensively, I think you guys need to improve too, but I think in the attack, you definitely need to have much better players. So I think it would be a good signing. I just think you guys definitely need to obviously make sure you improve in different areas as well. But Ollie Watkins is a great player. I mean, there's a few Arsenal fans that would have loved him at Arsenal. I think for him, I think if he had his chance in January, then he would have came, then I would have been behind him. But I think with Arsenal, that ship's definitely sailed. But I think with United, I think you definitely need to improve in the attack in that striker situation. I mean, as much as you've had a bad season, you can still attract some great players. So yeah, I'd be interested to see if that happens. Like I said, I don't know how much he would be worth. I think he'd be quite a bit of money, but I think it would be a good move for him, perhaps. I mean, I do expect United to have a much better season. I expect United to probably be maybe sixth to eighth. I do think you'll be much better in the league. I think you'll definitely be much higher in the league for sure. I think you probably won't get top four, but I think you'll be improving and you'll probably win maybe an FA Cup or something. So I think for him, maybe not a bad thing to be fair. Um, I think 2-1 United against Arsenal and Watkins scores too. I do think that game on the first game of the season will be quite juicy and exciting. Like I think especially with Gyokeres, that adds a bit of spice to that game because honestly when the transfer window actually opened at the start, I did think he was going to you guys, and that's why I never spoke at Gyokeres. I did videos on Sesko because at the time, I think to myself, if a club doesn't want us, if a player doesn't want the club, I thought I'm not going to bother talking about him. But then, it seems that he wanted Arsenal, so I think Ollie Watkins, it would be a step up for him. But I mean, Villa have been doing great in the Champions League this last few seasons, so I think if United can get back to the Champions League, that would be a great step for them. But yeah, I'm excited for that game, the starter. I think it'll be really exciting. I think Arteta deserves more respect in terms of money. He has spent a lot of money, but only ranked sixth in the league. We've consistently come in second. Yeah, I think it's a very tough one because I think as fans, finishing second without winning anything is a problem. I think it's the fact we've not been able to win stuff that's our biggest issue. I think if we're able to win stuff, it wouldn't be an issue. But I think because we've not really had any sort of silverware, I think that's the problem. But I don't think his signings have been bad at all. I mean, you look at Calafiori, he's a player that's going to develop. He's a player that needs more time. And like I said, when you're buying a player from a different league and they're coming to England, it's you may as well flip a coin. It's going to be 50-50. They could adapt or they could just really struggle. I mean, I get that. I do think the Premier League is quite a fast-paced league and you have to adapt quite quickly. You got to you got to get with it quickly. And I think if you don't, then it isn't for you. I mean, I always use Vieira as an example because he's sort of the best you know, players I can speak about, but I think for him his physicality just wasn't it for the league, and I think he really struggled. We've had many signings that have really flopped. I mean, I remember we got Lokonga. I think he was under a lot of expectations, and he just never reached that as fans. I think fans like can't overhype players. I mean, I think certain players I do think deserve a lot of hype. I mean, Declan Rice before he came here does deserve a lot of hype because he is a great player and I've watched him for many years and he's exactly what you see. He's a great, he's so consistent. Um, but I think as Arsenal fans do kind of overhype players. I mean, Mourinho did get that a bit, and I think Mourinho has been a good player, but he's not as been as good as what people have said personally. So obviously we're gonna have to see how some of these players are gonna improve. But I don't think Arteta's signings have been bad. I just think her signings haven't been signings for now, and that's exactly what Arsenal need. We need signings now, not for next season, not for the season after. We just need to make sure we are bringing the right players. Big up Roscoe. So he says good day. Big up Roscoe. Good to see you in the chat. I hope you're good. Um, well, we're getting Vardy a second strike. I wouldn't get Vardy. I think Vardy personally is. I think he's still got it a little bit. I think he's still great, but I do think he's past his best. But maybe United might go for him. You never know. If you're asking me, but I think Vardy in the day was so good. He caused Arsenal a lot of problems. But I think for me, that ship is sort of sailed. I wouldn't want him really. If Arteta is replaced this season, who is your number one option to get the best out of the players fast? That's the thing because I think if you bring someone in and you don't get a reaction out of the players, then that is where I think we go into a cycle of needing having to get rid of a manager. And I don't like to sell. I don't personally like to replace managers unless I think you have to. I mean, with Emery, I felt like when we lost that final, I thought you had to go. Like you just need to go now. There's times where you need change needs to happen. I'll be honest, I like Lewis Enrique, I do, but there's one thing that maybe sort of put me off him a little bit was in that final with Chelsea and PSG. I mean, Chelsea were better, and I just think he maybe could have acted a bit better um, in that final with a bit more class. I mean, he went for a Chelsea player. It's funny to look at, it is funny, but I just think if that's an Arsenal manager in the future, I just don't know what I think of that. I mean, I think I'd rather a manager say, fair enough, Chelsea were better, and they deserve to win. Credit to them. I don't like sore losers, basically. So I do still like him. I think he's a very lovely person, and I feel like he would really connect with Arsenal and these players. And he's a winner. He really is. So I think he would be a good fit if it comes down to it. I do think it would be a good fit. I think maybe having him at Arsenal, if it ever hypothetically, if it ever came down to it, I think he's a very inspiring person, and I think as well, I mean, it's obviously really heartbreaking what happened to his daughter, and I just think the way he sees life, I find so inspiring, and I think as a manager, I think he would really push these players and get the best out of them. Obviously, if it came down to it, I'm not going to say it will come down to it. I want to see how we do next season. I want to see with the window we're getting, with the players that we're going to get. But what we need to know is that we need to win something next season. That's going to happen. I would not want Southgate. I feel like we play such boring football. I feel like he just play tons of defensive players, but um, I'm pretty much like I think the way I see football is I like quite attacking players. I mean, I know Arteta likes defensive players and know he's big on his defense, but I just love attacking football. That's sort of my type of football. I mean, and everyone has their own sort of view because I know we sort of had that football under, George Graham to the Wenger era has been very different eras, but I am a sucker for that attacking football, playing that beautiful football. I think Wenger definitely get, that's something I love about Wenger. I mean, his style of football was amazing. So, but everyone has their own sort of views on their own views on football and what they like in football. But for me personally, I think I wouldn't want Southgate ever. I would want Southgate to go to United when he had the chance. I think that would have been pretty funny at the time, but that ship has sailed, unfortunately. I'm actually interested to see how Almiron does actually do at United again next season after having a big summer. I do wonder if he will actually improve and, have a much better season, but we'll have to see as well. I'm excited to see how all these other clubs are going to do as well. I think it's going to be quite an exciting season. I really hope Arteta can just step up and keep doing what Arteta's not doing a bad job. I mean, I just think we need to start winning stuff now. It's come to a point where we need to get that silverware over the line. We need to just get over the line full stop. So I really hope that can happen for Arsenal. I really, really do. I am going to end this, guys, in about 5 minutes. So, feel free to drop in any questions you have for me. Right now, I will be back tomorrow. I'm going to be back in the morning, about 11 a.m. with an Arsenal fan. So I'll be back then. I'll probably be back in the evening as well. So I'll be back to my usual routine now. I've obviously been on here chatting with you guys. I did miss that when I was yeah, not here yesterday. But yeah, happy obviously with the Gyokeres news, and I'm just happy that things are improving for Arsenal at the moment. So we just have to keep continuing previewing this window, and I'm excited to see by the end of the window what it'll look like. Will we have all these players that we want? I'm just excited to see how it's going to go from there. The problem with Luis Enrique is that he is a winning manager. I don't see him wanting to come to us unless something really wrong happens at PSG. Yeah, there's no reason for him to leave PSG at the moment. I think if in a hypothetical world, if Arteta left, say Arteta walked and he left, I just think which manager would want to come here. We have got some great players. We really do. We've got a great squad, and it's so frustrating because when Arteta came in and we finished eighth, never did I ever think we would be challenging for the league. So I think Arteta has done more than I expected, but I think it comes to a point where has he reached the ceiling? Is this all he's done? Can he go any further? And to be fair, it's okay if he thinks he can't go any further and this is it. But I just think that it's a very tough situation. But no manager would want to leave the club unless they see a new job, unless there's something they want to leave for. So yeah, it's definitely interesting. Mourinho, do you know what? I couldn't have Mourinho at Arsenal. I couldn't support him like that. I think Mourinho. I think that it's really difficult because he is a winner, and I have no doubts he would win the silverware if he came to Arsenal. But I just feel like it would be disrespectful to things from our past that you said about Arsenal, about Wenger. I just feel like I couldn't ever get behind it. Um, I'm with Mourinho. He wouldn't be. I want a long-term manager. I want someone that's going to be here for like 5 years. That's going to win us titles. Champions League, FA Cups, and I feel like Mourinho would want to come for a short stay. I just couldn't ever imagine him wanting to manage Arsenal, and I feel like that would cause a big divide with the fan base because I mean, he's a winner. He would definitely win us stuff, which is what we need. But I just couldn't. I wouldn't like that. I mean, I think if it ever came to that point where he was a manager at Arsenal, hypothetically, um, I'm not going to be against him, but I just don't know if I could really support him. It'd be very strange because, when him and Wenger had those Barneys, and I loved that. It was great watching it growing up, but I just don't think I could get behind him. I just feel like it would be very strange. Yeah, as he has been at Spurs as well, so it would be a bit odd, wouldn't it? Um, Chelsea, Spurs, it just wouldn't feel right to be honest with you. I do wonder why he actually went for that job though at Spurs. Like, I just I think he could do better than that. I think he's a great manager, but I just he's not really for me personally. So I wouldn't want him, but I do think we need a winner, possibly. I think the mentality, if we have a problem next season, we don't win anything, then that's definitely a conversation to have about our mentality and how we can get through these big moments. But yeah, he's not really someone that I'd say I love. I mean, he's always been sort of against us. He said bad things about Wenger and Arsenal, so I wouldn't want him. But I know there's a lot of I know there's people in our fan base that would love that. It wouldn't feel it wouldn't feel right to me. It'd feel very strange. I would love to see Jose Arsenal. So funny. I was at the Emirates when the whole stadium chanted "F you, Mourinho." I just couldn't. I think I'd find it funny. I think I couldn't take it seriously. It'd be very bizarre. I really, really would. Having him at Arsenal. Especially he has managed Chelsea, Spurs. It would just feel weird. I mean, is that's why I feel like if you're a manager and you're managing Chelsea, Spurs, or Arsenal, you only manage one of them because I just find it really strange when you see managers, Conte, another one who's managed Spurs. It's like I think if you're managing Chelsea, you shouldn't manage any other London team. I just think it's just weird. I do get people have to have a living and make money because I know Judge Graham happened to him. He managed Arsenal, went to Spurs, like, and I appreciate it happens. And sometimes you have to sort of stay in the same location if you're happy somewhere. And I get that footballers, I get that, but it would feel very strange. I don't think I'd get behind it. And there's going to be fans that would get behind it because he would be a great winner. Mourinho would win us stuff. I know that for a fact. But I just don't think he has that connection with Arsenal. I think he's a Chelsea guy. I don't think he would have that connection with us. It'd be very weird. I couldn't get behind it. I wouldn't ever be against him if you came to Arsenal, hypothetically. This wouldn't ever happen, but if it did, um, I just couldn't. It just wouldn't feel right because Wenger's always going to be my favourite manager. I mean, at the moment, so I couldn't ever be a fan of Mourinho. As soon as Jose won something for Arsenal, he would pose with a trophy in front of the statue. It does really irritate me, I'm not gonna lie. He used to get under my skin so much. I mean, I remember when Wenger wrote his book, and I think he made a dig about Wenger not writing about him in this book, and I thought Wenger's just rising above it. He's not giving you that opportunity. But it's really weird because they work well in punditry, like they do really well together. But as managers, they just never saw eye to eye. So it's sort of like it kind of reminds me a bit of Ferguson and Wenger, but I don't think Mourinho was that respectful to Wenger. I think Wenger was too classy for Mourinho, to be honest with you. I think you guys need to ask Alex Ferguson to come up for retirement and you'll win the league. Yeah, we need. It's really weird though because I was watching that Wenger documentary again, a few weeks ago, and I think they did take a big risk on Wenger when they brought him here. But the difference is Wenger had a ton load of experience, and if we are being honest, Arteta doesn't have as much experience as Wenger did. And all of our previous managers, they've all gone out and got experience, and that does make a difference. It does because these moments are high pressure, and you do have to make the right decisions, and it will cost you if you don't get it right. So I think only time's going to tell if Arteta is the guy to win us stuff, to be that man for us. And I just want to see, for me, next season, I think that will tell me everything I need to know. I really think it will because if he can't get us over the line with Gyokeres, I would be so, so surprised. I really, really would. It would, it would shock me. It really would. So I just hope we can do the right thing and hopefully get it done. So who we should go? Who is to go? Alex, Pep, or Wenger? Well, if we are being honest, I mean Wenger's always going to be my favorite manager of all time. I mean that's just going to be my answer. But I think the greatest is definitely I think Ferguson. I'd say is the most successful. I think that it would be a lie if I said Wenger because there's so much Wenger hasn't won. Unfortunately, I mean the Champions League is the one we got so close to. Um, so Wenger's always going to be my favourite, but I think Ferguson's probably be more successful than Wenger. But I think with Pep, I think the problem that I have with Pep is that he's so good with a great team. I would love to see what Pep is like with a average sort of team. Like in Liverpool, when Klopp took over from Liverpool, I would love to see how Pep would have done with a team like that because Pep has always had great teams around him, and I just feel like he got lucky in some ways. He's a great manager, don't get me wrong. He's incredible, and he does deserve all the credit he gets. But I think Klopp did an incredible job, by the way, with taken over that mess because Liverpool were a mess then and he took them to go beyond and win so much stuff. So I think I think Wenger's always going to be my reason why I fell in love with football. He's definitely the reason, and I find him so inspiring. But I think if I'm looking as an outsider, I think Ferguson was very successful and he does deserve backward. And it's sad. I do find it quite sad with Ferguson now because you must think to himself, United are such a mess, and it's a real shame that this has happened. And that is what happens when you lose sort of your best managers, your best, players. I mean, Arsenal's problem definitely stemmed from the ownership, and leaving Highbury. I mean, I think I never see it as a mistake leaving Highbury. I mean, I know we had more success there. Things have to change at some point. You can't stay somewhere forever. You do have to move on. So I feel as though it's just not worked out at Emirates so far. We've not won a league title. We've not won a Champions League. We've not won anything other than FA Cup. So it's a tough one, isn't it, with that? But yeah, it's a real shame because these managers like Wenger and Ferguson must be watching and thinking how good football was back then and how much has changed. So I like Ferguson. I do feel bad for him when he watches United sometimes. I feel bad. He must think, what am I watching sometimes? But that is football for you. Big up to you guys that watch this. I'm just going to answer a few questions before I do head out of this show. Please do make sure you're obviously liking and subscribing, guys. And I appreciate you guys that are joining me today. One or two more signings and we can compete. Absolutely, we need to just make them signings with Gyokeres and hopefully we can bring in some more players at Eze. If Arteta leaves, where do you think he would go? Everton or back to Spain? Um, I generally don't know. I think hypothetically, if we are thinking about that scenario, I'd probably say Everton. I think he's might to go back to Everton than any other place. I don't see him going to Spain really. Big up Josh. I'm just talking about a lot of random stuff. I'm just answering anyone's question really. So yeah, I'm just talking about Wenger and Ferguson really. But yeah, probably Everton. I think if we're being honest, I think Arteta would do good at Everton. I think Arteta is a good coach, but as I'm saying, the question is he a coach that can win you titles, and get you over that line? That's the other thing that we have to think about. Wenger is the reason I watch football. Yeah, Wenger is definitely a big reason why I'm an Arsenal fan today. He really plays a big part for me in that. Um, he doesn't even go to Old Trafford anymore. He can't stand, yeah, the Glazers. I don't blame him at all. He doesn't even go. Yeah, I do feel bad. It's a shame. I think the ownership in the back in the day was so different to the ownership now. I mean, for Arsenal with David Dean, that's a completely different story. He was so much. He worked with Wenger so much. I think their relationship was really lovely, and I think with the Kroenkes, it's very much with Wenger. When Wenger was here, it was a very at distance. It wasn't a very great relationship. Um, I definitely would have. I would take David Dean back in a heartbeat. I know he's. I don't know how old David Dean is now, but he definitely understood the values. I think when you go to a club, whether you're a coach, whether you're an owner or a player, you have to understand the values of a club. You have to understand the connection between the fans and the club and what the club's history is, all of that. So I don't think the Kroenkes get that. I think the ownership, like I said, is so different now to what it used to be. Unfortunately, things have changed and things have evolved. So yeah, it is what it is with that. But it would be nice to see. I think Arsenal and United. I think we're not much as rivals anymore because we're not as United aren't up there anymore. In things, but I think when we play each other, there's always that. I do feel like we hate each other when we play each other. So there's always that intensity and that rivalry. It's still very much there. I just think it's different, isn't it? I feel like some Wenger aren't good. The damage he did at the end was too much for me. I think it's weird because I started supporting Arsenal at 2014, and that kind of was where it went bad. And I just think everyone is responsible. When things aren't going right, everyone's responsible. I do think the Kroenkes got away with murder. To be honest with you, that when Wenger left, when it was sort of the Wenger out moment, I think Wenger got a lot of stick, and I get your manager, you're gonna get stick. You didn't do everything right, but I think the Kroenkes got away with so much. Not just him, I don't know at the time he was like our sporting director and things like that because I didn't know much about that at the time. But I just think Wenger got a lot of heat. I don't think it was all his fault, and he managed to get us FA Cups, trophies in those toughest moments. So he deserves quite a lot of credit for that. I really think he does. considering moving to Emirates. Yeah, feel free. It's still painful being an Arsenal fan though. Um, I'll never forget the good he did, but never going to forget the horrible way it ended. Yeah, it is a shame, isn't it? Because I think when you think of Wenger, like the first maybe 10 years, it was so good, wasn't it? Like I think he did. I do believe Wenger did change English football, the way people view it as well, and he did so well at that. And I think now if we look at it, it's sort of last sort of part of it was a struggle and didn't go too great for him. So it's really interesting, isn't it? See how it can go. I think it was tough for him. I wish the Wilmot family cared as much about Arsenal as they do building bungers in New Zealand. For sure Wenger opens people's open to have the partnership. I do definitely think that is the case because I think with that Super League stuff that has definitely been a turning point in Arsenal. Like so many fans just went against the Croncos. I mean, even I did. I mean, I still do, but I still don't think they're particularly the ones for Arsenal. I don't think they understand the connection between the club and the history, the fans. But it is what it is. I just hope we're able to get back competing. Arteta has had a lot of money. We can't argue that. So I hope Arteta can make sure we will get that silverware soon. Um, but beauty guys, I'm going to end this now. I will be back tomorrow morning. Actually, I'm going to be back at 11 in the morning. So that might be an early one for you guys, but I will be back tomorrow. I just wanted to come on here to have a chat with you guys, obviously talk about the game that was on today, and I will be doing a watch along for obviously the game on Sunday. So feel free to obviously watch that with me, join me in to chat about that. But I just wanted to say a really big thank you to you guys for joining in today. It's been so great to chat with you. I've generally enjoyed chatting with you all today. Um, I've only been on here for an hour and it's gone so quick. So thank you all for watching. I appreciate it. Obviously, if you're new here, please do make sure you are subscribing to my channel and smashing them likes on my video. And yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow. I hope you'll have a good evening too, and I'll speak to you very, very soon. Bye, guys.